Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, it is Thursday, the day prior to not FOMC but NFP. I was almost saying FOMC, but no, it's NFP. So NFP will be tomorrow. It will be a big red folder news tomorrow. So yeah, I will talk about the protocol that we will probably have to implement today. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. It's almost the end of the week, 1 week more. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is well with you guys as well. So I guess let's go straight into the charts and see what's happening right now. So yeah, as I was doing my pre-market analysis, my bias was kind of bullish. We had a movement. Yeah, let's get a little bit back here. So we had the Asia range, London manipulate lower, taking out Asia lows, and then move higher towards the previous day high. Eventually, regular trading hour session, buy side liquidity as well. And yeah, I was kind of bullish, expecting somehow a move lower in the first minutes of the open, but not quite that this flush that's happening right now. I guess Trump said anything, and that's why the market is moving aggressively to the downside like this. But yeah, I was expecting somehow a move a little bit lower, probably towards pre-market lows, and eventually to a regular trading hour session, sell side liquidity. But yeah, the market is going lower, and if we look here at these quadrants, so this big shaded area is the NWOG, as you might already know. We have the quadrants of it, and yeah, price came a little bit above the first quadrant, but got rejected here, as you can see, right below 8:30 open. Let me just check if 8:30 is no, it isn't. So let me just mark 8:30 open first. Yeah, there we go. So we kind of rejected the first quadrant, and if you look at these quadrants as well, these quadrants are the quadrants that are respected to the daily wick, the previous daily wick. So we went for exactly 50% of the daily wick, and we kind of rejected it. So I'm still bullish. I'm still bullish because this is just a low time frame flush so far. But if price is not able to come above midnight open eventually and get back into the NWOG and start to get back into the daily wick, I probably will have to switch my bias and eventually aim for London lows. But yeah, let's wait a bit and let's see what we can work with and what the market will do in its first minutes as soon as it opens. I guess we already have the open here. Yes, we have it already. So let me mark the 9:30 open. So 9:30 open, which is, yeah, it's this doji candle here. Not usual for an open. 9:30 candle. And yeah, we are trying to stay above this 1 hour fair value gap. As you can see here, we still have a lower fair value gap here, which is the 4 hour. It might be acceptable for price to come lower towards the 4 hour, and then eventually give us some reversal setup. But let me take a look also at the regular trading hour session. Yeah, so far we took out these relative equal lows here. We took out these one here. We still have this one here as well. So I will mark this here as the regular trading hour session sell side liquidity, just in case we go lower. So as you can see here, let me take a glimpse at MNQ just to see what's happening here on NQ. Damn, NQ did a huge flush here. So it went for London lows almost. Yeah, it went almost for London lows. Let me see what this is looking on the regular trading hour session. So we still have some liquidity here as well on the regular trading hour session. We might take it right now. So we will probably drag ES with it. There we go. So I'm kind of curious to see if price really wants to go a little bit lower, dig into the 4 hour fair value gap. Let me just take a projection here. This might be the last swing to the upside. So yeah, it can indicate that we will go a little bit lower. It has a confluence with London lows, midpoint of this fair value gap, the 4 hour fair value gap. So yeah, kind of a tricky job here today. But let's talk about the pre-NFP protocol. So I will not have my hand on the trigger today, at least not as aggressively as I did yesterday, because whenever we are in a pre-NFP environment, yeah, we can eventually face a hard day to trade. It might be a low probability day. So that's why I decided not to take anything aggressively, but wait for something clear to happen and eventually take action after it. So I will not engage with anything just because it seems like it. I need to be sure about what's going to happen, and right now I'm not that sure, because on NQ we took London lows. We still have Asia lows to take out, and ES seems to be a little bit stronger here, and trying to support around this 1 hour fair value gap. So let's wait a little bit more. If we want to be bullish, we want to see this 1 hour fair value gap being respected and try to displace above it, and eventually try to displace above midnight open as well. But without taking any regular hour sell side liquidity, will be kind of hard to frame anything. So I will give the market some more time and see if there is any willingness to trade higher. Because if we go on the 4 hour, for example, the 4 hour, we have the 4 hour fair value gap. We have this flat candle here. We have another flat candle right here as well, but let's focus on this one right now. These 3 down close candles can be eventually our order block formation. So I want to surprise trade above it and eventually close above this flat candle right here, but it is permissible for price to come a little bit lower, trying to tap one more time the 4-hour fair value gap. So this can be a tricky situation here. If we manage to go below London lows and eventually close below London lows, then we are wrong with our bullish bias, and price will follow through the downside, eventually reaching for previous day low and new week opening gap. So at this point, it's a game of waiting for something and not trying to pick a side right now. So talking about NFP, NFP is for those who don't know what NFP is, I really don't care about the news driver result. I mean, I don't care about the NFP numbers, but NFP it's a big announcement, big economic announcement. It's called the non-farm payrolls, and usually it moves a lot. The market moves a lot with it, so it can eventually trigger a lot of volatility and a lot of slippage as well. So it's an environment that you don't want to be trading into. So you have to avoid it. And the pre-sessions, they usually they usually are kind of hard to play with as well. So we have to keep that in mind. So far, no first presented fair value gap. Maybe we will have it right now. There we go. Taking out some regular trading hour sell side liquidity here. This might be our first presented fair value gap. Nice displacement to the downside. We can stretch it a little bit more here to this candle. And seems like we will take London lows. So this is kind of a surprise for me here. So if price does not react here, and if we don't have any sort of reversal, our bias might be wrong, and we will probably head lower. So let's just see. So a regular trading hour sell side liquidity is kind of tagged. Let me take another glimpse into it. Yeah, at this point we have a lower sell side point here, but I'm not sure. Extended trading hours. Why did it move? So very heavy in the open, and whenever we have somehow a one-sided move to the downside on the pre-market, this is a rule of thumb. We always have to be suspicious about these types of move. Whenever we have a one-sided move on a pre-market environment, we always have to be suspicious about it. It doesn't mean that price won't go lower, but we have to keep the possibilities of this being a Judas swing in mind. So let's wait. So far, what we expected on price is not happening. What up, Papao? Papao 4 from the Purple platform. You're asking me how to do how do you get session high lows? I saw you where you can buy them. Is there any way to get those for free or just buy them? I saw where you can buy them like from TGR. Bro, I just do it manually. You have to be able to do it manually. Um, you have to know where your time frame session is. So London is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Asia is 8 a.m. to midnight, and you just note your session highs and lows manually. If you should develop that discipline, you know, because you can eventually buy an indicator or wherever, and the day it will stop working, how do you solve that problem? You know, you have to be you have to be autonomous about it. Otherwise, you will always depend on it, and there will be a day where things just stop work, and whenever that day will stop, whenever that day will come, you will be left without any highs and lows on a session. So I advise you to do it manually and not depend on any software or script or whatever, because if you're not the developer of that, there might be the day that that script might stop working, and yeah. So I really advise you to do it manually. I do it manually. I just search every day for 8:30, 9:30, midnight, and just mark those levels. Just 3 or 4 levels. You have to have the discipline to do it. Otherwise, you're trying to get some shortcuts, and those shortcuts will always lead you to some things that are not good. So I really advise you to start working to do it manually. Yeah, so far we kind of reacted here, the 4 hour fair value gap. Let's see if we have the strength to close above the first presented fair value gap and 9:30 open. Nice reaction here from price. Yeah, so far a nice reaction from my bullish bias. But I would like to see it trade above the first presented fair value gap and not close below it, below the midpoint of it. So far 9:30 is holding as well. Well, the only thing that I don't like is that we missed London lows here on ES. But yeah, it can be an SMT with NQ. So that's permissible, I guess. So we are inverting these bearish fair value gaps. We took out regular trading hour session sell side liquidity as well. So let's see if price needs another run to the downside. Yeah, brother, just do it manually. I advise you to do it manually. That way you will work on your discipline, on your work ethic as well. Of course, there will be times that you, oh man, I have to do it once again. Okay, it's a tedious task, but um, it's a way to work on your ethic, on your discipline, and yeah, it's always better to do it manually than be dependent on a script or indicator or whatever. So we kind of failed here. The first presented fair value gap. We took out London lows. So now there's, for a bullish bias, there's not much left here in terms of liquidity. So if we do not reverse now, then we are probably wrong with our bias, and we will head towards new lows. Because yeah, it kind of makes sense, because we kind of rejected the midpoint of the previous daily wick. We rejected the first quadrant of this NWOG. So it kind of makes sense to go lower. But yeah, it was not part of my plan to go lower. Let's wait. So bearish fair value gap here being respected right now. So the first, the 1 hour bullish fair value gap is inverted right now. So we came out, we touched the midpoint of it, we spent a little bit of time, went out again, then we retraced to the bottom of it and this place lower. So if we are bearish, I presume we will do something similar with the 4 hour. We will go out of it, probably head higher to retest its midpoint and then move lower once again. Otherwise, if this is a straight move to the downside, it is what it is. I will not interact with it. Probably was not part of my plan. Yeah, the market is heavy right now. So this is really a day where if you force anything, you will really get hurt. So at this point, we reached for event horizon. Let me take a look at the higher time frames just to see what is this looking. How is this looking? Yeah, not looking bullish at all, unless we can go back inside this fair value gap. Otherwise, seems like this will be the bearish order block. These two up close candles. Let me just see. Where are we rejecting? Yeah, it seems like we rejected the, if this is an order block on a higher time frame, I want to see where do we rejected it. Yeah, we rejected at 75% of it. And we are now aiming for the lower quadrant, and eventually we'll close on previous day's low. If this is a bearish order block. So right now, previous day low is the, seems like to be the low hanging fruit. Previous day's low and this NWOG here. So if we manage to stay below this event horizon, which is the point in between these NWOGs, yeah, this is our new drawn liquidity. So the question here is, should we search for a short to target previous day low and this NWOG? Because yeah, we kind of run from this NWOG here. It's a rejection, a clean rejection of the first quadrant, and I don't believe I can be bullish right now unless we just displace in a crazy way to the upside. Oh, nice. So you are on day three and your P&L is already almost $2,000. That's impressive, honestly. That's really impressive. But on day three and you already have $2,000, probably you are over leveraging, aren't you? I'm not sure about the size of your combine, but it's it's quite impossible to do that with a 50K combine. How much are you risking per trade right now? Damn, this is really heavy price action. I guess this is leaving a lot of people on the sidelines here. It will probably go for previous day low without any retrace at this point. And these candles are kind of big. Yeah, it's a 10 handle candle, so quite big candles on ES. I guess it will leave no room for any type of entry here. Previous day low is all drawing liquidity, and it might get lower as well. Of course, I will not chase it. Of Yeah. Let me just see what price is doing on a 15-second here. Yeah, even the 15-second is kind of heavy right now. So not any major retracement to get into this trade. Oops. How much did we move already? 1%. And about, yeah, 0.5% since the open. Well, I'm glad I did not interact with this move here. I can see a lot of people probably try to buy here, possibly those who were bullish like me. Um, but I was demanding a closure above the first presented fair value gap. That's why I stayed away from it. Heavy drop here. Impressive, honestly. Was really not expecting this. Yes, I was caught off guard. Hello, Pablo. How you doing? Yeah, this is a falling knife, brother. Look at this. This is really a falling knife. But I guess Trump said anything or said something here right up, right before 9:30 open, and maybe that's why we are so heavy on price right now. Because honestly, I was not expecting this. But yeah, this is the type of day where if you try to force anything, you will get hurt. And if you try to force your bias in days like this, it will be a mess. And I'm glad I did not force anything. I guess I was caught off guard here. So price is now trying to react before taking out previous day low. NQ did not take previous day low as well. So I believe we are forming an order block just to move a little bit lower. And look how we lost event horizon, and yeah, we went straight to the next NWOG. So I believe this will still be tapped. And if not, then the market will do a lot of damage. If we will leave previous day low intact, then the market will do a lot of damage for the rest of the session. Let's see how far we can go on this retrace. We still have these imbalances here, these two imbalances. I will count them as one. I usually do it because counting them as two is always tricky. We went for the volume imbalance here. but I'm expecting a higher drive here. I don't feel like this is enough. But if price really turns around here and goes lower, then this is a signal that price is really heavy, and we will eventually go even lower than we can expect, probably, if we leave all these imbalances behind, open like they are. And this would be really a signal that price is really heavy. Oh, you're playing with 150k accounts. Okay, that seems more reasonable. Because if you if we were talking about 50k accounts, that would be a big stretch on risk. Um, you're taking about 3 to 4 trades a day. That to me seems a bit too much. In a beginning stage, I would advise you to take one to two, not stretch it to three to four trades. I would stick with a model, and with a simple approach, and try to explore that approach, taking a one trade per plan as well. So I believe with 3 to 4 trades a day, you might be switching bias. You might be, I don't know, you might be doing something that's probably out of your initial plan. So that's what you're saying. That's risking too much, because it will serve you for some time, but there will be a day or a week or a month where it won't work anymore, and you will be in a big drawdown. So I would I really would do it in that way. I would only do one trade per session, eventually two. That's acceptable, especially if you have your first trade as a loser. Then I would eventually risk down to half of it, or a third of, not half of it, but just reduce your risk by 25%. That's reasonable. And take a second chance. And if you lose once again, then your day is done. And if you win, even if you can't break even your day, you should close your trading session. Um, that's why that's the most reasonable approach. But even with a 150k account, uh, 2000 in 3 days, it seems it's a good number. But yeah, I can see that you're risking a bit too much, probably. You're taking about 5 to 10 contracts, but I would advise you to risk a fixed amount, and that fixed amount should be about 1% of your maximum drawdown, um, and that's it. 1% of your maximum drawdown. No, 10% of your maximum drawdown. That's it. Yeah, not 1%. So if your max drawdown is 1,000, you should be trading with a stop loss of 100 per trade. So I was not watching this honestly. And yeah, we kind of went for the midpoint. So this could eventually offer us a nice entry here. This is a BPR as well. So we might go lower from here. Yeah, I kind of lost it here. I think it's too late now because we don't have a risk to reward. That's yeah, that would be great. Let's see if we can move once again to the BPR, but it doesn't seem like it. So we probably missed this move. Yeah, there we go. Some follow through here to the downside. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, it was not part of my plan. So, and as I told you guys, I will not force anything today since we are in a pre-NFP stage. So you're saying that you have no one to talk about it. Yeah, that's one of the hardest quests that a trader have to deal with because it's a very solitary game. You have to deal with yourself. You have to deal with your flaws. You have to deal with everything on your own. And yeah, there's not much people doing it. So you can you can ask me whatever you want, bro. Just type it and I will try to answer those questions. For how long have you trading? You're saying that you're kind of new, but for how long? So we have a small SMT here in between ESN and Q. I'm just not sure if NQ took out previous day low, but it doesn't seem like it. Let me just check here. Yeah, it formed another relative equal low. Yeah, Pablo, that's what I'm watching. I believe we will dump a little bit lower. We still have the NWOG to tap as well. So we might revisit Event Horizon here eventually, because this can be a point where price will just gather some more buyers and then dump lower eventually. So at this point, I can see a lot of people buying this. but I will not do it. I'm not that bullish anymore with this move to the downside. I guess I can't be bullish, at least for the session. So price is moving to the upwards, to the upside, um, with up close candles, consecutive up close candles. So at any point, these up close candles can turn into some sort of an order block as well if we are still bearish. So let's see how price will react now as soon as we tap into event horizon. This should act as a resistance on price. Let's see, we have the 4-hour fair value gap as well, which we kind of inverted. So this should act as resistance as well. We are now inside of a 15-minute fair value gap as well. But I'm kind of, I feel kind of suspicious about this previous day low that we left behind, both on NQ and NDS. I don't feel like this is something random. I feel like we need to go lower to unless take out this liquidity here. Otherwise, I will just leave the market do what it wants to do and not take anything today, because yeah, this was not what I expected from price. I was kind of bullish in the first minutes, But as soon as we opened at 9:30, I was accepting price to come and probably until this 4 hour bullish fair value gap, but not lower. And it went way deeper, leaving previous day low behind. And now it's ripping to the upside. Uh, so yeah, this is a hard day. Not giving you a one directional move, because if you're selling since 9:30, uh, and you eventually would take your profits at previous day low, it didn't reach for it, so it's kind of a hard day to trade, honestly. So for now, I'm glad I decided to take my hand out of the trigger and just do something if I saw something that I could eventually anticipate. Pepo, uh, trading for 6 months. Oh, okay, you're probably in a beginner stage. Um, 6 months is it's like a beginner stage where you are consuming content, probably. Consuming content and yeah, still learning a lot of these concepts. So yeah, take your time. Do not rush into any serious money investment into combines or whatever, because yeah, sometimes the traders who start their journey, they have some sort of a beginner's luck, and they start to make money right away. Um, but at some point they will recognize that, okay, I'm doing money, but it's kind of, I'm not sure what I'm doing, um, and it's what we call a beginner's luck. So try to avoid investing a lot of money into that period, that stage. I mean, and try to formulate a model and try to develop some sort of a model that you will recognize every day and work with it every day, taking 1 to 2 trades around that model and stick to it. Oh, you feel like those past days have been beginner's luck? Yeah, yeah, I've been there. So I've been trading for a while now, and yeah, we all have that phase, and that phase can eventually be there for many months and eventually years, if you're on the right side of the market, and suddenly things just stop working, and you ask yourself, what am I doing? It's not working anymore. What am I doing? It's what's wrong with me? What's wrong with the market? What's wrong with the stuff that I'm working with? So um, try to invest the minimum to keep yourself in a training stage, and then whenever you have your model, whenever you open your charts and you know precisely what you're looking for, um, then yeah, that's a time where you should eventually um, work with some proper capital and eventually try to do some more. So price now, it reached for event horizon, it reached for equilibrium of this leg. If you can see, as you can see here, somehow equilibrium, yeah, it's a bit above equilibrium. And now let's see if we can stay below event horizon. If yes, if we can stay below and start to revert all these bullish PD arrays, we might go for another run to the upside, to the downside here. Because all these all this liquidity on previous day low, it's kind of suspicious for me. What's my advice to focus on? Well, I'm not sure about the way you trade. I trade exclusively with ICT concepts. If you trade with ICT concepts, I would focus on developing a model um, using those concepts, and yeah, try to backtest those concepts in a market replay first, just to see if those concepts work. And then I would advise you to just trade one session for about, I don't know, 6 months probably, one session only, and a period of and the time window inside that session. I mean, if you're looking for a New York AM session, try to focus inside of the 950 macro or the 1050 macro, and look for something inside those time windows, um, and not be all over the place, just opening the charts and, oh, okay, we'll trade right now, and not looking into my clock, just randomly trading. No, focus on a time window inside one of those sessions: New York AM, New York PM, London. I wouldn't recommend Asia, because Asia usually is not the best session to trade, but it can develop some nice setups as well. Um, but I personally like New York AM session, especially the 950 to 1010 macro. I usually tend to operate inside of that time window. And if you look here, this is the 950 to 1010 macro. Look what price just did inside this macro. It was this swing low. So I was not expecting here a bearish bias. I mean, that's why I did not interact with it. But it usually offers a nice run on price. It can happen that it will be an empty macro. Sometimes it can be as well, but you know, you have to work with what the market gives you. So event rising, uh, really acting as a resistance on price. We came lower, and we will probably follow through previous day low. So yeah, as I was expected, a lot of people try to catch this knife, this falling knife. Um, it could work if your target would would be event horizon, but honestly, I think we will have more follow through to the downside here. But since we are pre-NFP, it can work like this as well. Price can stay inside a range now for some time. Let me just see how far we are from the next macro. So 1050 to 1110. So this is a reclaimed fair value gap now, it seems like. And there we have our follow through to previous day low. It was a shame that it did not. I was expecting a move towards whenever we reclaimed this fair value gap. I was expecting a move once again inside the reclaimed fair value gap, just like this. So boom, and around here I would take a short because this would offer me something like something like this, a better risk to reward that would be acceptable. But unfortunately we didn't get it. And price is moving once again. And it seems like it will target these next lows, which are 6747, 6747, unless we kind of stop here next to the NWOG. This was a clean run here. I anticipated the move here, and it could eventually have taken it the trade. You're welcome, bro. I'm not helping in any way. I guess you need to you just need to do it on your own. I can give you any type of advice, and I'm glad I can give you some advice, but um, all the work has to be done by you. So yeah, stick to something and try not to go all over the place. Um, just listen to what if you trade ICT, just listen to what ICT's to ICT's X spaces as well. They tend to have a lot of juice. They are a bit thick in terms of those runs that he usually has, but yeah, they have a lot of juice. So I would advise you to listen to them. I would advise you to um, watch his tape reading sessions as well. And yeah, and if you can watch other people trade, you will learn some with it as well. Um, it doesn't need to be a profitable trader or whatever, because you will eventually uh, learn something from who's operating. So um, if the trader, if the streamer, or if the person that you're watching is trading ICT, you will definitely learn something. It's always like that. I used to watch other streamers as well, so and I learned a lot from them, especially when they are reading price. So it seems like price wants to lose this NWOG and go for this low here. Another sell side liquidity point. Yeah, and Q also has that sell side liquidity point. But things are kind of tricky right now because we can eventually go straight to it or move a little bit higher towards this order block on the 5 minute. So things are kind of tricky to enter in this last stage of sell side liquidity seek. Let me just see where price is now, keeping in mind that we can eventually project price from a larger yeah, price is kind of stretched now. Let me take a look at the 5 minutes. Yeah. Let me just see in terms of the weekly. Yeah, we are working this week now on the weekly. Just let me see where this belongs. Yeah, another low. Okay, I have an idea. I have an idea already. So clear rejection here on the NWOG once again. So this might be a macro to macro move. This is something that you can focus on as well. Whenever we have a one-sided market, it can start moving at 950 and its business at 1050. So it seems like it's doing it. I have using breakup structure as my concept. Do you think it is worth to switch to ICT or stay with breakup structure? Well, brother, if breakup structure is enough for you, just stick with it because as soon as you enter the ICT world, there's a lot, and ICT also mentions breakup structure. But if something just works with you, just stick with it and don't try to go for something else unless you at some point you see that okay, breakup structure is not enough and I need to go for something else. Otherwise, ICT is it's it's very complex. It has a lot of concepts. Um, it has a lot of concepts, and yeah, it needs a lot of time just to scratch the surface on his concept. So just you can try it, of course, you know. But if breakup structure and if you use it and if it's giving you um, the results that you want and that you expected, yeah, just stick with it. Otherwise, you will, as soon as you enter the ICT world, you have dozens of new concepts, dozens of new approaches, and it's kind of it can sometimes be frustrating because uh, it's hard to integrate all those concepts. Um, but yeah, it's another form to approach the markets, and for me, uh, it seems like it was the only thing that really stick to me and that really helped me understand the markets, not other retail logic or retail concepts, just like support and resistance, or I don't know. There's a lot of them. So perfect rejection here on on the NWOG midpoint of it. So we might fall a little bit more. So this might be the order block, and price will now fall a little bit more. Let me just look at the 15-second chart. It's somehow accumulating here. But there we go. I left, once again, a lot of imbalances behind. So that's why I'm not taking anything here down. It's way too too deep in discount for me to interact with it. Of course, at this point we have to manage our inner FOMO because price moved a lot already, and at some point you will start to feel that FOMO, that you're missing something, that you're missing your move, and you have to be disciplined enough to, okay, that was not part of my plan, so why should I chase it, right? I think that's one of the hardest things as a trader to deal with as well. Whenever you miss a move because it was not part of your plan or because something, and now you see the market almost one-sided, you want to interact with it and you want to be part of it. You want to take out your piece of the pie, but sometimes it's better to stay away from it, because in the moment that you will engage with it, you will probably get hurt. And I've done it a lot of times, and I've seen it a lot of times happening as well. So I'd rather stay away from it. And yeah, tomorrow is another day. Oh, and Papa, let me give you another advice. Whenever you whenever you encounter someone saying that, oh, only my model works, or my model is the best, my model is this, my model is that, my concept is this, my concept is that, um yeah, try to stay away from them. I know that ICT has a type of speech, and he says that only his concepts are worthy, but there's a lot of people making money in this business, and not all of them use ICT. So I believe that as long as you make money in this business, no matter the concepts, no matter the approach that you take, yeah, just stick with it, because there's a lot of people making money with support and resistance. There's a lot of people making money with trend lines. There's a lot of people making money with, I don't know, you name it. And if you make money with your kind of approach, with your kind of knowledge about the market, yeah, just stick with it, and you should only search for something other than what you're using if if your approach to the market just isn't working anymore. So that what happened to me, and that will happen to you if your approach is not the best, but if it's still making money, so just stick with it and don't try to swing from one approach to another one. So price accumulating here below the NWOG. So I believe it will follow through to the downside, some more points, at least 10 handles. So yeah, this was an interesting day, honestly. It really was. A typical 950 macro to 1050 macro move. It really started at 950, as you can see here. But it would be hard to engage with the whole move, since it retraced hard here to equilibrium, unless you would protect yourself around the first presented fair value gap or around here. It would be hard to engage with the whole move. So as you can see, we are still accumulating here a bit. There might be a lot of people buying this. Yeah, you definitely have to find what works with you and what works for you as well, because it's like painting, you know. Trading, it's like painting. There's a lot of styles, there's a lot of different arts, and yeah, I can teach you, I don't know, Picasso, I can teach you Van Gogh, I can teach you whatever, but in the end, you will choose your style and you will stick with your style. And trading, it's like just like that. It's just like painting. There are dozens of styles, dozens of approaches, and I don't know. You should stick to what's more that's more suited for you, and what's more suited for your personality as well, in terms of, I don't know, if you like to approach the 1 minute, if you like to approach the 5 minute time frame, the 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the second chart, the daily chart. But there's an infinity uh, of approaches. So part of the process of being a trader is to find yourself in that ocean of possibilities as well. Well, let's see if we will have that last follow through here. As you can see, there's, even if we are almost sure of it, the risk to reward is not appealing right now. That's why we don't try to chase it, because it can give us the follow through here, but we have to stick with our rules. And the rules say that we should only stick to at least a 2 risk to reward ratio. This is the minimum acceptable for a trade. I kind of missed the opportunity here, around here, for a continuation, but I guess that's the only thing that I missed, honestly. We could have, if I was bearish, but I wasn't. If I was bearish, I would probably have taken something around here, but I wasn't bearish, so can't blame myself for it. I think I still did a good job here, tapering the price action. So yeah, and by the way, where are you from? Papal. Papal 4. Where are you from? What about you, Pablo? Have you done anything today? Have you taken any shorts? The market was great for shorts, honestly. So yeah, the market kind of stopped here. It's been 26 minutes inside the same range with some liquidity below us. Let me just take a look at the stocks just to see. Tesla losing almost 4%. Apple 1%. NVIDIA losing 2%. Uber losing 1%. Amazon losing 2.5%. Yeah, seems like a red day for stocks. Let me take a look at crypto. Yeah, crypto doing its own thing here. Remember when I told you guys? I guess it was around 2 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks. I told you guys that if you would like to expose yourself to crypto, you should find some of those meme coins, some of those altcoins, and you should expose yourself to a short, not leverage, just a short position. In the meantime, I'm watching it now here, and the majority of them, they already lost about 30%. So I'm just watching here, 20%, 30% from 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So yeah, if you expose yourself to a short on crypto for the majority of those altcoins and meme coins, yeah, you would be in deep profit now, about 20 to 30%. Of course, there's always one that will run to the upside, like ICP. ICP just run to the upside. It's doing about 130% to the upside, but the majority of them are about 20 to 30% down right now since my call. $96 to $95K on Bitcoin. Yeah, probably. Let me just check. Yeah. Yeah, that order block. Yeah, we have a low on that order block in between 98, I guess. So it is acceptable for price to come lower, take out that low, and then eventually react. But if we don't react to that low, then lower prices will come. Because if you take a projection from if you take a projection from the high, the 21 March 2022 to the low of the 14th of November 2022, and if you project that to the upside, we almost went for minus 2.5 standard deviation on Bitcoin. with that high on 126,000. So it is reasonable for price to retrace, and it can retrace as far as 80k. That would be acceptable still. So if you take the projection, if you go to the weekly and you take the high of the 21, I guess. Let me just see. It's the 28th of March 2022, and the low of 7 November 2022, and you project that bearish leg to the upside, you can see that we almost hit minus 2.5 standard deviation on Bitcoin. So it might be acceptable for it to retrace a little bit lower. And you have the silver bullet range in between -1 to -1.5. And those numbers are 80,000 to 97,000. If you check Ethereum, it left equal highs. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, equal highs. And you expect Bitcoin to grab liquidity at the order block and then move up. Yes. Yes. It would be around, yeah, that area of 96 to 95. We can't be that precise on Bitcoin, but yes, it's around that area. And it has some confluence with minus 1.5 standard deviation on the projection as well. So this would be the first target to a retrace. And if we react to that area, we might go further up. So in the meantime, ES really stopped its price action. Did you take any trades, Pablo, today? I believe you were bearish since the beginning. Well, I wasn't. Honestly, I wasn't bearish, so that's why I did not take anything. But I was not. I started the session without any intentions to take anything, honestly, because we are pre-NFP, and I know that pre-NFP can be messy. And yeah, I would have burnt myself if I had just forced anything in a pre-NFP session. So I'm glad I decided to stay away from it, honestly, because I was not expecting this lower move, and probably the majority of traders were not expecting this at all as well. I will, as soon as I close the stream, I will see what other streamers have done in this session. Oh, you took some small shorts yesterday night. Okay. Oh, I see. Just let me take a look here on the 1 hour. Well, this to me now seems like we are initiating the second stage of a market maker sell model, honestly. on the hourly time frame, because somehow we ranged here. Manipulation, first stage, retrace, second stage, move lower, retrace, and second stage. So I'm not sure, but it seems like it can be possible. This would be the buy side curve. This would be the sell side curve. Not sure about it, but it seems like plausible to me. Let me just see if there's something a bit cleaner on the 4 hour. Yeah, it seems like it. I'm not sure if you're seeing the same. So you're expecting 150, 150 on NQ, 150. I'm just checking it here. Okay. So you're referring to the 23rd of October kill zone. Okay. Yeah, it seems plausible, and it seems like probable to happen right now. Especially if we leave this sell side intact, and price will come a little bit higher. If we leave this open, this is just a sign that okay, we will deliver lower probably later. So hang in there. So so far this is a empty macro, but as you can see, whenever we have trendy days or days like this, um, it is possible that we move from macro to macro in a one-sided move. Of course, you have to keep in mind that a retrace is going to happen somewhere around in the middle of it, but it was a nice short here at 950. Honestly, it really was. I'm not sure if I would be able to catch it if I was bearish, but looking at it now, looking at it in hindsight, it seems easy. But yeah, wasn't easy at all because the market was very quick. It delivered one-sided as soon as we started the 950 macro. So if we didn't catch this here, that would be a hard catch, honestly, because we left imbalances open, and then we price retraced to the upside quite heavily, but rejected at the event horizon as we were expecting, and moved towards the next new opening gap. And now we are kind of accumulating below the new week opening gap, and we will get to the next sell side point here. Yeah, it was a good session, honestly. The only problem is that the bias was not according to the session. And didn't if price didn't behave like this in the pre-market, um, if we stayed here around here on the pre-market, I would probably had changed my bias because there would be a lot of liquidity to take out before moving higher. So, but it is what it is. You can shake price, always reverse these zones, kill zones, areas, open market, because it's where institutional trades are placed, high probability. Yeah, that's true. That's also true. I usually keep my kill zones on the chart because of that reason. But this morning I decided to take the majority out, honestly. But yeah, what you're talking about, it's kind of true. We usually use older kill zones to reverse price. Oh, by the way, Pablo, how's the weather in Madrid? Because here we kind of faced a storm in the last 48 hours. It's been raining a lot. Um, the sea has been crazy with big waves as well. Not the sea, the ocean. I mean, so beaches are kind of no go zone right now. And yeah, I believe it was the last night, not this night, the night before this one, um, that we had some crazy storms, crazy lightnings, and all that stuff, which is not that usual here in Portugal, honestly. Very cold. Yeah, the temperature also dropped here, and yesterday you had some rain. Yeah, yeah. We these last 42, 48. I mean, hours we had a lot of rain. It's kind of cloudy now, but and some sun is shining through the clouds, but last couple of days have been kind of very windy and very rainy as well. And the temperature dropped a lot. It's already snowing in Serra da Estrela. I don't know if you know about Serra da Estrela. It's it's our um, highest point in Portugal. It's the mountain, and it's snowing already. So the temperature dropped a lot these last couple of days. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you, because it's not normal for us to suffer from these type of events, these storms and those big crazy winds and rainy days. it's not usual for us. It's usually the Portugal and Spain are situated in a place where it it's not usually affected by these storms. So that's why I was curious about Madrid as well. I guess we are in a safe spot here. We don't have any hurricanes, we don't have any typhoons, we don't have nothing. We might have one day a big earthquake like in the 1700s, but I'm not sure. It destroyed Lisbon once, so it might happen sooner or later. It will. We all know that. So price finally reaching for sell side liquidity here. Finally, it took a lot of time. Imagine if we were shorting this, it would consume a lot of mental capital. Honestly, it was about, let me just see, yeah, 45 minutes to deliver 10 handles. A lot of time, and it can happen that it will just do that thing that it usually does, which is boom straight to the downside and then back inside the range just to take out these highs here and then eventually move once again. So it usually happens like that. So yeah, guys, I think it's been about 2 hours. It's been a pleasure to be here with you guys, especially with those who interact with me, like Pablo. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Um, so yeah, I guess I will end the stream here. So no positions taken, no trades. I guess I was off. My bias was off, and fortunately, I decided to stay away from it because I saw that nothing bullish happened. Um, so yeah, I guess we did a good job despite not interacting with the market. The tape read was kind of good. Kind of anticipated the next leg here to the downside. Um, was still expecting a bullish move around these levels here with the 4 hour and the 1 hour eventually acting as support on price, but it didn't work out. So as soon as I saw that price exited the 4 hour fair value gap and it lost event horizon, my bullish bias, I decided to switch for a bearish bias and eventually targeting previous day low and this NWOG, but decided to stay away. I think it was my best decision. So yeah. If you spot these areas with high volume, you can figure out where price will move in high time frames. Yeah, there's some indicators that a lot of people use, which has, I'm not sure about the name of it. It's the order flow, I guess. Um, some people combine order flow with ICT, and they say it usually gives them a clear read on price. But yeah, for now, I will just stick with ICT and not throw some more indicators and some more mess into it. if you backtest, you will see it better. Okay. So, but you're talking about volume like those bars that we just like this settings. I'm not even sure how to add. It's typical volume, right? Volume profile, volumetrics. I'm not sure if it's this one. Yeah, this one right here, right? Talking about this type of volume or yeah, it's a it's a zone with a lot of volume. I see. I see what you're saying. The hourly candle. Let me just check. Mm-hmm. Okay. Seems interesting. It seems interesting. So yeah, Pablo, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to having you here every day. Hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have NFP. Um, so yeah, we'll not do anything here until NFP. Hope that we will have some some nice delivery on NFP and that it will leave some liquidity behind, just to serve as in the New York AM session. So yeah, it was a pleasure. Have a nice day and stay safe, I guess. See you. See you, Pablo. Thank you very much. And thank you guys as well. Have a nice day.